Hello YouTube. I just wanted to hop on today and share a little bit about the FastPass system at Disney World. This is our Travel Tip Tuesday. It's coming in just a little bit late. We had the stomach bug over the weekend, so I didn't get any filming done, so I'm having to film and edit and upload on the same day to get it in on Tuesday. So anyway, so fast forward. We're going to talk about FastPasses, just kind of a quick crash course into FastPass. I'll get into some more top choices for different parks and stuff like that in future videos. But today we're just going to talk about the basics and what you really need to know when you're planning your trip. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. For all my new watchers, thanks for coming. If you like Disney planning videos and Disney content, please hit the like button. If you can, with the new stuff on YouTube, I don't know what it's gonna look like. But you can subscribe and be a part of our Disney planning, Disney loving family here. So I do thank you for coming and for coming back if you already are a subscriber. So I do have my notes, so if you catch me looking down, then I did make some notes to make sure I hit everything I wanted to. So the basics of FastPass. FastPass Plus at Walt Disney World, not Disneyland, Walt Disney World, is a ride reservation system. So we know, I talked last week about advanced dining reservations where you can make your dining. This is to make reservations for rides. So for this, first off, these are free with your park ticket. You do not have to pay extra for FastPass. I get a lot of clients that ask me, you know, I want FastPasses added to my thing. Well, FastPasses are there. If you have a park ticket, whether you are local, whether you are on or off property, whatever, if you have a park ticket, you have FastPass. Unless it's for a special event. You can't do FastPasses during the event time. But there's a little caveat to that, but I'll talk about that later. So if you are staying on property, you can make these FastPass reservations 60 days prior to check-in, up to 10 days of your trip. So if your trip is less than 10 days, then you can go ahead and make it for the length of your trip. If your trip is longer than 10 days, then obviously it's kind of the same with the dining. If you are staying off-site, or if you are, you know, local to the Walt Disney World area, then you can make your FastPasses 30 days prior to the day you're going to the park. And for those people, you can only make them like 30 days and then 30 days and then 30 days. I don't believe you can make them like I don't know if you can make them for the length of your ticket. I've not had to do that. But if you are staying on property, then you can make them for the length of your trip. For FastPass, what it is for most attractions, not every attraction has FastPass, but for the ones that do, they have a standby line that you would get in if you didn't have FastPass, or if you don't know about FastPass, then that's just your regular line. Now, the ones that have FastPass have a separate entrance, and you have to tap, I'll show you in just a second. You have to tap a little, it's kind of like the things you tap when you go into the park, and you have to tap it with your magic band or your ticket, and it will turn green if it's during your time. So for attractions, so that's rides, meet and greets, stuff like that, you have a 1 hour window. So you might be able to go anytime between 10:20 and 11:20, but you can only go once during that window. That doesn't mean you get multiple times during that hour. You only get one ride during that hour. And they have a 5-minute prior to and a 15-minute post kind of grace period that they usually will let you get on the attraction. So if you're a couple minutes early for your FastPass, then they'll usually let you go ahead and get on. If you're a few minutes late, then usually they will let you get on. I'm sure there's exceptions to this, but for the most part, there is that grace period. If you are going to a show, so say the show is at 12:30 that you're getting the FastPass for, your FastPass window is going to be from 12 to 12:15. So there's still the 15-minute window of time between your FastPass window and the time the show starts. So that way they get, that's just the way they've got the show set up. So you have a 15-minute window, and then there's like a 15-minute block of time before the actual show time. So keep that in mind if you are making FastPasses for shows. So if you're looking for the 12:30 show and you don't see 12:30 listed in FastPass, pick that little 15-minute block prior to showtime. So the next thing is about tiers. Magic Kingdom does not have tiers. They don't have the rides tiered. So pretty much you can pick any 3 rides or attractions that you want for your FastPass. All the other parks do have tier systems. So they have a tier 1 where you can only pick 1 out of that list of attractions. And then they have tier 2 where you can pick 2 out of those. Now, you do not have to pick a tier 1 attraction. If you want to pick 3 from tier 2, you can do that. But you can't pick more than 1 from that tier 1 until you've used your 3. And then if there's any available in tier 1, then you can go back and pick another tier 1. But you have to use up those first 3 before you can get another one. For going into that, once you have used your 3 FastPasses, you can then go into the My Disney Experience app on your phone, and there are also kiosks around the park that you can go to and book additional FastPasses. So as soon as you tap the turnstile for your 3rd FastPass for the day, go ahead and open up My Disney Experience while you're standing in the queue waiting to get on the ride, and look and see what FastPasses you could get. If you have a base ticket, then additional FastPasses will have to be made in the park that you're in. But if you have a park hopper ticket and you would like to go to a different park maybe that evening, then you can look at that park and make FastPasses there. But you can just make 1 at a time once you've used up those first 3. So keep that in mind. Again, in a later video, I will do a video on my FastPass recommendations by park. And that tends to change, especially with some of the new stuff coming out. There's a lot of new rides opening up in the next year or 2. So obviously those might change. And then some of the new rides aren't even, like the new Galaxy's Edge ride is not even available for FastPass at this point. When you make your FastPasses, you can change them. So if you have a FastPass for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and you get there and it's a 10-minute wait and you don't want to use your FastPass, you'd rather just, maybe it's the first FastPass of the day, well, you could modify it or cancel it and make another one. And that way you don't lose that FastPass, or you don't waste that FastPass on something that really doesn't need one. So it just depends. You can modify those in your My Disney Experience account. Or if you know you're going to be late for one and you're not going to hit that 15-minute grace period at the end and you need to try to modify it for later in the day, you can do that if there's availability. If it's something like, you know, Flight of Passage, there's probably not going to be availability for later in the day, but you could switch it to a different ride if you know you're going to miss your FastPass. And if you will modify and change it, that does give someone else the opportunity maybe of picking up that FastPass, and not, you know, it could help somebody else out if you know you're not going to be able to use it. You can also split your FastPass. So on our last trip, my youngest wasn't tall enough to ride any of the 40-inch rides, but my oldest loves Splash Mountain. So what I did was I made a FastPass for me and my oldest to ride Splash Mountain. And my mom doesn't want to ride Splash Mountain either because she has back problems. So she and my youngest went and rode Jungle Cruise. So I made them a FastPass for Jungle Cruise, and me and my oldest a FastPass for Splash Mountain around the same time frame. And so that way we were all able to ride something. Nobody was having to sit and wait. And I didn't feel like my youngest was getting left out because she was just having to sit there and wait on us to ride a ride. And so it just worked better for everybody. So you can split FastPasses. You just have to pick, you know, when you're making your FastPasses, choose the party of who you want to make the FastPass for, and then just go in and make the other one. And I do try to make those, when I split them, I try to make them for the same time, because then if there's one later or earlier that we're all going to ride, I don't end up having conflicting times, because it won't let you overbook your FastPasses. The other thing you will need for FastPass is a way to tap the turnstile, and that's what I was saying a minute ago. So you will either need a magic band, and I have super small wrists, so I take all of the extra stuff off of mine. So you will need a magic band, which if you're staying on property, you get a solid color one complimentary, or you can upgrade to one of the character ones. Or if you are not staying on property and you got park tickets, then you probably get a card that looks something like this. So either one works. I know a couple years ago we stayed off property, and so I just used these because at the time we didn't have magic bands. I think the first magic bands had come out, but the new ones hadn't, and I didn't bother buying them because we had these and it was no big deal. I kept a lanyard around my neck and kept all of our tickets in it, so whenever we needed fast passes, I just pulled them out, we scanned them all, and we were all good. So now we all have magic bands, but I do like to keep a card with me, because if we lose our magic band, these are easier to carry and extra around in my bag than these are, and I can activate one of these cards if I need to. You can go to guest services and get a new magic band if you lose yours, but sometimes that's not always the most efficient when you're trying to hurry to get to a FastPass and you realize you've lost your magic band. It's a lot easier to get on my phone and activate a card that I've got. So I do always keep one of each of these in my bag, so that way I have a way to use our FastPasses. The last thing I'm going to say is one thing that I do when I'm planning my FastPasses is I use touring plans. I have a subscription that I have had for I think 3 years now, and you can go in, pick all the rides or attractions, dining, everything you're going to do that day, and it will optimize for you, or you can lay it out the way you want it, and then it will tell you what your wait times are going to look like, and if you're going to have enough time, you know, with the wait times and the time to walk between one attraction to another. It gives you all of that information, and I find it very helpful when I'm planning, because it also gives you a recommendation of which rides you should make fast passes for, and in which order you should do them if you let them optimize it for you. So those are kind of the basics of FastPass. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments. And also in the comments, if they're active for this video, leave what your most recommended FastPass was. I know the hardest to get are Slinky Dog, Flight of Passage, and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. But if there's another one that is kind of a must FastPass for you, just leave it in the comments below. And also, if you have any questions, my email is down below, or if you need help planning your Disney trip, you are more than welcome to email me and I can get you a free quote and we can go from there. So if you need any help or if you have any questions, feel free. So I will talk to you later. Thanks.